This is Kinsey with Healing Routines Yoga, and we're going to do an at-home restorative yoga practice that you can do with any type of props that you can find and with minimal space. So a few things you might want before we get started. You might want a sturdy chair, or you can use a couch or an ottoman. You'll want several different blankets, some that are more firm, some that are soft. And then you can even make your own bolster with a king-size pillowcase with some folded bath towels. You might want a few books to prop up your blankets or homemade bolster if you don't have a block. And wear some nice comfy clothes and some warm socks and get ready to enjoy our practice together. So we'll get started seated on a blanket or a pillow, something that brings your hips a little bit higher than your knees. And come and sit more to the edge of the blanket so that your hip bones are pointing more forward. You can be cross-legged, or you could have your legs out, whatever's most comfortable for you. But we'll get started with a little bit of breath practice and centering and grounding. You can come to a nice relaxed posture with your lower body feeling heavy and weighted into your blanket and the ground. Thinking about your spine growing tall, lifting in the back of the head, maybe even the top. Maybe dropping your chin just a little bit towards your chest. That helps create a relaxation response. And then if you're comfortable, I'll guide you through the poses. You're welcome to close your eyes down or have a soft gaze towards your lap. We'll start with a few slow breaths, simply noticing where your breath comes into your body. On your inhale, and where you feel your breath exit your body on your exhale. And continuing with noticing your breath, a simple inhale and a simple exhale. And now you can explore your breath a little bit more, playing around with some belly breathing, expanding your belly on your inhale, letting it open and expand. Your ribs expanding out to the side. Even think about your back opening up. And then on your exhale, just think about your breath and your body compressing inward from the sides and the front and the back. So it's a 360 breath here. So go ahead and inhale and allow your whole torso, your deep belly to fill and expand. And as you exhale, maybe through pursed lips, really slowly, thinking about everything pulling and tucking inward really softly. So we'll continue with about 3 more deep breaths just like that, inhaling to fill. And exhale to release. And we can use this as our first visualization or meditation as we're filling up and expanding in order to create space. We're feeling a little constricted or restricted or overwhelmed. And then as you exhale, it's where you're allowing the tension and pressure and energy builds up in your body to release. So take another deep breath and exhale. And we'll use that breath through our different practices. So in restorative yoga, we'll do a few poses and we'll hold for several minutes. I'll always guide you out of the transition and show you how to get into your pose. But really it's just being about as cozy as possible, using the props to fully support your body so that your nervous system can rest. We're not even too concerned about stretching your body. But we'll start with a few stretches just to warm up. So we'll start with some shoulder rolls. Bringing shoulders up, back, and down. And then reverse. And shimmy and shake those shoulders down. And we'll inhale, scooping the palms upward. You can even look up towards your hands. And then exhale to release down and expand. And inhaling and exhale. And then taking one more breath to inhale up and exhale down. Place a hand down on the mat, lifting your palm up towards the sky, reaching up and over, a nice side body stretch. You could look down towards the ground, straight ahead, or up towards your arm. And we'll inhale back to center, adjusting those shoulders away from the ears, and then exhaling our hand upward. And we'll just float back and forth, inhaling and exhaling down. Inhale back to center, and exhale down. And come back to center, and exhale and stretch and reach, maybe bringing your arms behind you, opening up the chest and relaxing down. We'll continue with that. Inhale, bringing arms up, and exhale your elbows down about height of your shoulder, lifting chin and chest. And we'll inhale, reaching arms up, clasp your fingertips and bring your hands straight out from your shoulders, dropping your chin down. Feel that nice stretch down the shoulder blades and the back. And we'll inhale and reach up and expand, opening the chest. So we'll put that all together. Inhale, reaching up, fresh energy. Exhale to release and ground down. Placing a hand on the mat, we'll inhale to lift up and over, then exhale. Inhale back to center, shoulders relaxed, and then exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center, bring elbows down, lift and open chest and throat. And inhale, palms to touch at the top, and exhale, hands down. Almost like I'm grabbing your hands, pulling them towards me, dropping your chin to chest, and feeling that stretch through your breath. And then we'll inhale, open and expand. We'll do a few seated cat-cows. It's just a simple extension and flexion of the spine. So inhale to pull elbows back, and exhale to round, tucking chin, hollowing out your belly. And inhale to lift, your elbows slide back, and then exhale, reaching hands forward on the knees. And just flow between your movements here. And come back to center. We'll do a couple spinal circles. You can stay straight with your spine, or you can get a little loosey-goosey. Roll the shoulders and the head, reverse direction. And come back to center and rest for a breath here. We'll inhale, reaching palms up, and exhale, palms down as a symbol of a waterfall of release, again, of any tension or built up energy or pressure, just all the way down into the ground. Inhaling, scooping up nice fresh energy, and exhale, a shower of relief. Inhale, and exhale down. And then inhale, reach arms up. Press palms together, and then exhale, hands down towards your heart. Just a moment of reflection. Setting an intention for your practice, what you'd like to get out of it, or how you would like to be. Maybe pulling in a word of calm, surrender, rest, or healing. Maybe a moment of peace in your busy day. Then we'll inhale and exhale and release that intention outward. All right, we'll come into our first restorative pose. And that's a basic chest opener, so you'll just need 1 or 2 blankets. So I'm going to open my blanket up, and I'm just going to have my chest lift be a few inches here. So some people might roll their blankets. You just want it wide enough to expand past your shoulder blades. And I'm going to put this right on my shoulder blades, right under my armpit. You also might want a blanket nearby if you need a roll underneath your neck. We'll come on to our side, and I'm going to lay down on the prop. Again, my shoulder is down on the ground, but the blanket is underneath my armpit. And then I'll roll onto my back. Again, shoulders down on the ground, noticing how my lower ribs are lifted up, and bringing my hands either bent or straight out to the side. Your feet can be as wide as your mat, knees fall together. Some people might even feel comfortable with the legs straight out, but maybe to begin with, start with the knees bent. And then we get to rest in this position for several minutes. So ask yourself, can you breathe freely? Is this position sustainable for you, and are you able to fully melt into it? And if you answered no to any of those questions, simply adjust your props, making your chest lift a little bit lower, a little bit smaller, or adjusting the position of your legs. And we'll begin to breathe and rest peacefully here for the next few minutes. I'll guide you through a little breath exercise just to begin with. Noticing your belly lift towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, your belly button floats down towards your spine, emptying out. And continue like that, visualizing your belly like a soft parachute lifting up. And as you exhale, floats down. See where you can soften in your body and release, maybe in the jaw, or the fingers, toes. And as you breathe and relax, just notice your body softening and adjusting to the pose. Taking 5 slow, conscious breaths here. And inhaling and exhaling, seeing where you can release just a little bit more. Another breath. Continuing with slow, deep breaths, but not trying too hard. And before we begin to transition out of this pose into our next pose, remember to resist the urge to rush. To listen to your body, maybe you stay here longer. And to know that each pose will present different benefits and maybe a few different challenges in the body or the mind. We'll adjust the hips and drop the knees to one side, rolling over. And we want to rest on our side before getting up. Taking our time here, honoring the transition between poses. And you can place a palm into the ground and then keep your head really heavy, almost like a dog or a cat coming out of a good nap. And maybe a little counter stretch. All right. We'll be coming into our next pose. You'll want 2 to 3 blankets, and then if you have bolsters or pillows, you'll want a few on each side of you. So you'll want a blanket for your head. And some people put a little roll in the end of the blanket, or even use a little hand towel for the crease underneath the neck, just so that's supported. In each of our poses, our joints are always supported, so nothing will be hanging in space. And then I'm going to take a blanket on each side about where my hips will be. And we'll do a supine twist here. Now you can build this up as high as you need to meet your knees where they fall. We'll come on to one side. My back will be flat. I have a nice support underneath my head and my neck, where I feel comfortable here. You really want your chin tipped towards your chest versus jutting upwards. This really helps with the relaxation response. And then I'm gonna put 2 blankets on one side to get started with. I'm just laying here almost as we were in our chest lift, but with the flat back. Just gonna let my knees fall to the side. Now you might want something in between the knees. So you could add a pillow so that your hips, knees, and feet are the equal distance apart. And then you just gently roll over, maybe building up that prop to meet your body where it's at. So your knees might be staggered, one knee behind the other. You might stack your knees or somewhere in between. Your arms might be out at the side, palms up or down. And then we rest here. We want both shoulders to remain on the ground here. So just build up your prop. You might even just take your knees a few inches over to the side and have a couple pillows supporting you right there. And we'll start by resting here, finding a comfortable place for the hands. Maybe the hands come towards center on the ribs. And taking a few breaths to explore this pose, finding any places that might need to be adjusted or it might be distracting. See if you can adjust so that you can melt into this pose. Just make sure that your low back is very comfortable. So a few tips would be to not twist as far and to definitely place a pillow between the legs or stagger the knees. as you're resting here, notice the mind. See if you can observe your thoughts. No need to attach or follow them. Notice that they're there and use your exhale to let them float by. Maybe putting each thought in a little bubble and watching it as it passes and let it pop. And then if you feel ready to move and transition, you could bring your hands out to the sides, palms down. Slowly bring your knees back to center. Maybe rock them back and forth. And then adjust your props as needed. Maybe you have props waiting for you on the other side, or you have to pick up your props and move them over. And just acknowledge that your twist may be different on each side, so you might have needed to build it up so your knees only twist a few inches, or maybe you're able to lift up the hip. And roll all the way over again, shoulders on the ground, finding a comfortable position for the arms. Sometimes they're up to the side, or maybe resting on the ribs or the belly. We'll take several slow, relaxing breaths here, adjusting as you need. And we'll rest here. Twists are really excellent as a way to add a little bit of compression to our internal organs. And then when we release from the twist, we're allowing new fresh blood flow to come in. Excellent for massaging the organs and for promoting digestion. And when we are resting, that's when we digest. So it's really important to slow down and be still so that we can not only digest our nutrients or what we bring into our body, but also our emotions and thoughts and experiences. Release and sink into your pose. Relax your breath. Eventually, when you get in the zone with your restorative pose, you just kind of let your breath go. Turning to a conscious breath. Take about 3 more full breaths here. On each exhale, maybe noticing your twist a little bit more. Pulling belly button back and in. When you're ready, you'll place your palms down, or you might even guide your knees back to center. Maybe let them drop from side to side. Remove your prop from between the knees, and then just bring one knee in towards the chest. A little stretch here. Maybe roll that ankle around. Release that foot back down to the mat and bring the opposite knee into chest. A little foot roll here. And then you can bring both knees into chest and we do a little rock side to side. It's a really nice massage on the low back. A little massage for the kidneys and those adrenal glands that sit right on top of the kidneys and house all that cortisol, that stress hormone. Maybe bringing hands to the top of the knees and doing a few circles here in one direction and then the other. And then slowly rolling again to one side and resting here, making sure that you have a prop over your head as needed. You can stay here as long as you'd like and observe me setting up the next pose. Or if you're ready to transition, again, keeping the head really heavy, stretching out on that pose, maybe a little counter stretch. We're going to come into a pose with our heart towards the earth. This is a restorative child's pose, so a few options is to use several pillows and blankets, or if you do have a bolster, you can use that too. Now, some people are able to get flatter to the ground. Just think about bringing the ground up to you versus forcing your body into the pose. Some people might need to build up the top part, and you're going to want to put a blanket down under your knees. You bring your knees wide on either side of your pillows or your bolster. Your feet can go together. And we have the blanket here to support the top of the foot. It feels a little too stretched, so we always want to meet the joints where they're at. And a couple ways to do this is to set the hips back towards the heels, and then to come down. My head is in line with my spine, resting one ear to the prop, or you can build up the top of your prop here. You could even do this on the ground if you want to be all the way flat. And you can rest your forehead so that you can breathe, your nose is open, and you can fully relax and sink and get some pressure onto the forehead there. This can be really grounding, having palms and forehead touching something. If you need to be up a little bit higher, you'll simply just build up your prop here. If you need room for your body or your belly, you just move this up a little bit. Keep your hips up and then rest your chest. Another great option for a nice, yummy, restorative child's pose. So simply resting here, finding one that's most comfortable to you. And then we just let the shoulders droop down and relax. And soften the face, just let the face melt and droop into your props. And start to breathe through the back of the body. Adjusting as you need. Maybe over time you're able to sink a little bit deeper into your child's pose. You're just playing around, finding the one that works for you. And then if you have one cheek turned to the mat, you could try turning it to the other side. If you've got a little kink in your neck, just rest on the most comfortable side. And we'll spend a few more breaths sinking in, heart facing the earth, relaxing and opening up our back. You can notice yourself starting to unwind a little bit starting to slow down. Using your breath to move any buzzing energy or thoughts out. And finding yourself into stillness in each of your poses, even if it's just for a breath or two. Place your palms down on the ground underneath your shoulders and then slowly uncurl the spine up. Gently move your props out of the way and we'll come to hands and knees and a few cat-cows, or extending the spine, looking upward, and then exhaling, curling under. Inhale to extend and exhale. And then inhale and exhale. Slowly walking yourself back. Our next pose will be an inversion, which means that either our legs are above our heart or our heart is above our head. Every great restorative practice has at least one. It's like an automatic reset button. It brings all that blood flow up, releases the effects of gravity on the legs, and when you come out of the pose, it kind of flushes everything down and out. So it's an excellent pose to do for insomnia, headaches, not when you have one, but as preventative measures, and just a great anecdote to relieving the stress of our day. I'm going to use my chair. You're welcome to use several blankets, an ottoman, the edge of the couch. If you have a harder chair, you might want to place a blanket to soften the edge. Remember, everything wants to be really cozy. And I'm going to lay a blanket down just because I'm a little shorter. Again, bringing myself up into the pose, bring the ground up higher versus trying to extend my body. So this is for my hips. You might also want a blanket close by for the head. And we always want to come into our poses sideways. We're coming into side lying. I'm going to place my hips on my blanket there, coming down. And then I can lift one leg up at a time, rolling onto my back. And now I want my knees fully supported. I don't want space here, because my knee joints are hanging in space. So I want to make sure that I have full supports here. About a 90-degree angle if you can. Again, your heels can be on the ground and you might have just something under your knees. That's totally fine. And then if this feels like too much of a head rush, you can add a pillow or kind of build up your support under your neck a little bit. Again, we want chin towards the chest. And then resting hands either at the side. Maybe you want a big flush, so you bring your hands above the head. Playing around with that, maybe hands come to belly, but this is a great pose just to let the legs relax. Maybe the knees turn outward a little bit. We're relaxing the psoas muscle, which attaches in the pelvic floor, comes up almost like little suspenders and attaches back in our spine. Kind of holds everything in. And it tightens when we're stressed. And sometimes it stays tight. So this is a great way just to release and relax that muscle. And in a comfortable place for arms and the head. See if you can find that sweet spot in this pose. Release and relax. Because it is an inversion, just come out at any time, rolling onto one side if you feel dizzy or nauseous, or your body is just telling you it's time to transition. Otherwise, we'll rest here together for a few minutes. consistent settling. Give yourself permission to move and adjust your props. Take 3 or 4 full conscious breaths, letting belly rise and fall. And then just sink and melt and soften and release your breath, just allowing it to be natural. Really great here. Maybe you stay here longer. You allow yourself to drift into that peaceful Zen state. If you're ready to transition, you can listen or look, but bring your knees towards your chest and then slowly drop knees and roll onto one side. Again, resting, side lying, making sure head is supported. I feel like I'm way too close to the computer. And then gently lifting, coming out, but not disturbing yourself too much, because we're actually coming into our final pose, which is our Shavasana. So we want to lay as flat as possible, maybe a rolled blanket under the knees, something comfortable on the head. I actually like to make a little horseshoe around my head where I fold the sides of the blanket under and the top. So I have a little pocket to put my head in, so it's supported on all sides. You might have like a sweater, towel, or a rice pack to place over your eyes. And we'll come on down to rest for our last minutes together. This is where we don't have to focus on anything or try or have any expectations. We simply come down. Definitely put something under your knees if you're low backing, so that'll help. Cradle the head in with a nice pillow. And then, the best part is to make a little cocoon for yourself, wrapping your feet, your body, your blanket, up over the shoulders. And coming down, again, you could put something over the eyes. If you have glasses, just set them somewhere safe, take them off, and get into the most cozy cocoon position that you can. Maybe your Shavasana is even on the couch or bed. And we'll take a few full conscious breaths until right before we drift off. Inhaling into your full body and exhale. With each exhale, you sink, relax, release a little bit more. And enjoy the visualization of your body as a solid or an ice cube, slowly melting into water, a little puddle on your blanket, your mat. And with your next breaths, that puddle slowly warms and evaporates into air. You are welcome to stay right where you are, drift right into sleep as you are at home. If you do want to transition, you can listen to my cues. Maybe just bringing one sole of the foot to the ground and then the other, adjusting the low back. Maybe rocking knees side to side. Bring movement in any way it feels natural, or maybe bring your knees again towards your belly and your chest, rocking side to side. No matter how long you choose to rest in your Shavasana, make sure that you do roll onto one side and rest in side lying position. It's a really beautiful transition. Again, helping us practice the urge to rush. Whatever else you have going on in your day or your evening, just notice the pause in between activity and rest and activity, just like the pause between your inhale and exhale, your exhale and inhale. Those moments of stillness that can be most healing. When you're ready, gently bringing yourself back up and taking maybe one last moment to simply be, to rest, and then to notice what shifted during your practice, what opened up, and what surfaced. We'll use our breath to close our practice together, inhaling palms up and then exhaling hands down towards your heart. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Thank you so much for practicing this restorative class for yourself, for your body, your mind, your soul. and for your healing process. Thank you so much.